Hey fellow spelunkers, Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress. Episode 11, Delving Deeper into the Caverns. Alright, I think what I'll do, it does seem like you guys want me to dig, so I'm going to dig an exploratory mine shaft at elevation 35. Just because I haven't hit a cavern here doesn't mean there is not a cavern somewhere at elevation 35, and I'm going to look for so I'm going to update the priority. We're going to be digging to a cavern. We'll poke around in this level. Digging out like a crude sort of like looking for something. And then I'll hire the miners back to full-time mine work. This is very broad strokes. And I'll just do this on multiple levels, and sooner or later we'll likely find something. So Liara, Tobel, Kilgore, mine only. I guess I will hotkey this, and this will be a rotating F8, so this is mines, and I'll just be resetting this for like whatever layer I'm working on. And what's interesting here is it allows me to find strategic resources, and with that said, I think it's worth pairing the exploratory mining with a gem cutting work order. So I have my jeweler, Big Brody, who is the only one allowing to cut and set. Good, already did that. So we're going to do a work order here for the jeweler's workshop. Cut gems. And if gems is less than, let's say, 25, and rough gems is greater than 10, we cut. And that way we have some, like, trade goods. I don't want to balloon out our wealth, up there. But having some trade goods never hurts. And the last trade caravan asked for backpacks, and backpacks is really not something I can help them with, because I don't have a renewable source of leather or anything like that. So we got iron here, we got some limonite, we got some gypsum and selenite, which is good for plaster powder if we want. How do you make plaster powder again? Is it a quarn, I think? Because I know we have a hospital and I wanted to prep some plaster powder. It's produced in a kiln. Okay. Yeah, I suppose I'll add a kiln to my setup here. But nope, definitely nothing revealed so far. I think what I'll do is I'll go down in maybe every third floor, because I want to hit the cavern like roughly at its height. Alright, running out of lignite, that's fine. Hit a whole bunch of stuff. So if we did want to do gem cutting, there's a lot of... I mean, this is obviously the way to find gems. And we have some coal here, which is another useful economic stone. Some coal there, and lignite. More coal. Seeing if we don't necessarily find caverns, we'll get useful intel on other economic stones. So I'll go upwards too. Usually it's pretty easy to find caverns. I just don't want to dig too deep too quick and end up like at the bottom of one. I didn't think it was necessarily going to be found at 35. And then the other thing with paired with this is we'll end up flooding our general stockpile here, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to start the area for a kiln for pottery, so I can at least put some of the kaolinite. Actually, this won't be built here because I'm using this area for other things. So we'll just have the pottery for now. As a Swede, our faction is messing with your brain. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to say that. It's in Dwarvish. I don't speak Dwarvish. So how's our jeweler going? Oh, did I set up stockpiles for the jeweler? Oh, that is another issue that we're gonna have. Is because I am not necessarily planting. I'm not brewing all the plump helmets that I can. We don't have the seeds to replant. I suppose that's fine. Did we get the archery range working? No, and I sort of quit it. Wasn't, it was just as bugged from my playtest as it was, you know, so I was like, whatever, I don't care. What we're doing right now is mining out a cavern. Or, sort of. We have a lot of very usable stone here, though. We've got coal and clay kind of everywhere, which is great. Alright, back to the jeweler. So here, we're storing cut gems. We should also store all rough gems too. Actually, the rough gems were below, weren't they? Yeah, okay. So this is, let's fix that. That will be cut gems. In our general stockpile, are we storing gems at all? Okay, no rough gems, no cut gems. And I'm curious if any of that work actually... Yeah, one got cut. It's not much, but it is a start. It does mean the work order is functional. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Workshop. Furnace. Kiln made of jet. Because it's also possible, it seems like we're digging through a lot of clay. So I think it's probably a good idea to do something with the clay. Clay pots, clay jugs, or clay trade goods. Just something at the very least. I don't think we're going to end up finding much in the way of materials down here. Now, another thing that might make sense is if we go back to our stockpile, our general overflow, and we go to stone, And don't store other stone. Because we're going to be mining out a lot of, like, other stone. Non-economic stones from down below. So I'll store the shale. And that is it. Because shale is sort of what we're making our everything out of. And this will prevent haulers from going down to the mines and grabbing, like, siltstone and other non-shales. And there's not a lot of shale at this level, I noticed. So that keeps them from throwing virtually useless stone into our stockpile. And I'll start digging out the stairs for the next mining shaft. What was our prepared food work order? Less than 200? It's one of these things that I don't want the requirements to creep up on me, so we should have this work order being triggered if I had food available, which I think is the issue, I'd imagine. So let's take a look at it again. Wow, it gets so lost in the big. So here it is. Easy meal. So I don't have cookable items. Got it. It's late winter. I don't think that there's going to be much for me to grab from out here, but I'll forage for what I can. Okay, that's level 35. So there's lots of economic stone left here, but we'll start going to... Actually, maybe I'll do every 5. So the next exploration tunnels will be at level 30. And just to keep things nice and perfect, I'll just... mine it down like that. And then cut off access. So if I want to mine every single level, I'll already have the lines painted. Not that I suspect I will, but... I mean, hypothetically, I could paint these lines down to, like, bedrock. Because I don't have access to it, but I don't want to overdo it right now. Alright, so here's elevation 30. So this is... let's say most of our colonies are 45, so this is like 15 down. And I'm going to bind this to F8 now. Different economic stone. We also have lignite again, and chalk, which is another flux. So chalk and limestone are both flux stones. Marble, etc. Where is the closest jet to this stairwell? Because that's the one other stone I would like. All of my other workbenches are made of jet, so I'm... oh, well, okay, not right now. But I am going to mine out some of this jet and allow the jet to be stored in the general stockpile as well. Just so that anytime I make a workbench, I can make it out of jet, so it just fits the theme. That ought to be enough. Hey, tacos. Thank you for the resub. It does not look like we're going to get caverns here either. Or open wood cavern. I mean, technically, we're making a cavern. Also, might want to limit how much of the flux stone we're stockpiling, because I see that our flux stone is filling up this thing too. We're just going to need another one of these. Was it 19 by 19? Yeah, we're just going to need another one of these. Why stop at one? That'll keep my miners busy for a bit. So the plants are going back up. If I'm really worried about food, I can also consider putting the Fisher Dwarf back on fish duty. Their mood isn't bad right now, so I'll do it just to bring our prepared foods back up to like a 200 mark, which is honestly way more than you reasonably need. I'm just trying to stay well ahead of our needs. So we have 100 prepared foods at the moment. Who's vomiting everywhere? You okay? You're very weak and very slow to heal. You're terminal? Oh god. What is what? You're dizzy and nauseous because you're very drunk, I'm hoping, and not just drained of blood? Who knows? He has painted the town green. That's all I know. Alright, waiting on, because obviously we are full up here. Waiting on the overflow. And then while we wait here, let's go ahead and make plaster powder 3 times or 5 times. Let's do 5 times. 5 plaster powder so that we have some plaster for casts. I don't think we're going to need casts anytime soon, but just in case. Alright, we hit, I mean, it's the amount of different gemstones we hit is kind of ridiculous. We ran out of lignite. Spring has arrived. Cut gems have been completed, a whole lot of cut gems. So, how many cut gems do we have now? Because at some point, we'll get another trade. We have 9 total. Let's just make sure they're being stocked correctly. Yep. And then the uncut gems, definitely. Cool. I would say at this point, hey, we have 2 legendary miners now. Sweet. I would say at this point, requiring our jeweler to just do jewelry is not necessarily unreasonable if we want to keep trading for the things we don't have. Because obviously as a new fortress, we have loads and loads and loads of stone and ores and gems. We just don't have a lot of fabrics or animal goods or food or whatever. And being able to trade for it is totally reasonable. Alright, where is our prepare food at now? Hasn't really moved. We have a lot of plants. And did we forge up anything new? We've got some almonds and hazels from the trees. Yes. Apples, cherries, pears, and plums are all new. Got it. But we do have some elf food that we could use, for lack of a better term. Meaning, you know, plants, greens. Elf food made from real elves? You know, it depends on how much they piss us off. I'm kidding. I jest. I mean, I'm not fans of elves, but I'm not looking to eat them either. So these mining shafts have definitely jump-started our need for gems, because we had sold a bunch of uncut, which obviously is like, there's not a lot of labor involved in cutting gems, so selling uncut gems doesn't make a lot of sense unless you just haven't prepped any, and I wanted to prep some. We're back to making meals. Cool. And what I'll do over here is mine down to 25 stairwell. Just preparing for the potential of getting another cavern. But the stockpile is going to be a lot of work. At this point, I'm going to make the decision to say don't do clays in here, and don't do chalk either. Or actually, the only thing I'm going to allow in here is going to be limestone as a flux stone, because that's what we have. And no clays or chalks. No other flux stones and no clay. Because this stockpile here is going to be for clay, and I don't need a crazy amount of clay. This will be our designated clay stockpile. Stone, clay, whatever. How's the farm progressing? It's not moving at all. But that's sort of by design, because we don't have a lot of plump helmet seeds because we stopped brewing plump helmets. Because we just have, like, too much of it. Oh, I found saltpeter. And unlike IRL, saltpeter is just furniture stone. Okay, I'm out of empty bags. Did I have a task for bags? Because I bought a lot of... If I'm not mistaken, if we take a look at our cloth... Because I know I bought a ton of it. Yeah, I have 60 cloth. Alright, let's create a work order for bags, unless I already have one. Spread in the cloth. Which is fine. I don't believe I have make bags. Make cloth bags. If empty bags is less than 5 and cloth is greater than 10. Which is not true. I thought I had... Well, that was plant cloth. Oh, because I have wool and silk. I only have 10 pigtail cloth. I see. Apparently, it says I don't have more than 10 plant cloth. Is that because it's required for the hospital? I suppose it depends on where this physically is. So let's collapse these. I'm only interested in pigtail. I don't know. Hopefully we'll be able to source bags soon. Make pigtail bag is in there? Oh, okay. Process pigtails. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, make pigtail bag. And this is if cloth is greater than 5. So it's all set up. It's just I don't have enough material. But that's to be expected. Okay, Cavern layer. Has not expanded because we're digging out that new stockpile. This is almost done though. So this will be done pretty soon, and then we'll be able to get back to looking for caves. And we've doubled our overflow. Might not be a terrible idea to start smelting our tetrahydrate. I'm going to set up another order for that as well. So work order at the smelter. Smelt. We have a lot of tetrahydrate ore. So this is going to be if copper bars and or silver bars. Is this and or ore? I forget if it's... I think it's... I'll set up 2 orders. One for copper, one for silver. So we'll do copper bars less than 10. And coal and ore available greater than 10. Smelt tetrahydrate. And then likewise, do that again, but for the silver. Just so that we have like some copper and silver, basically non-military metals, if you will. Because sometimes you want to, you can be inspired to make something out of it, or you can make furniture out of it. I mean, there's other uses for non-military metals, for sure. Yeah, we're still under pop 20. Our pop has not changed the last few immigration periods. There it is. Okay, before we do anything, we found the cavern here. So elevation 27, but it would have been visible in part at elevation 29. I was 1 elevation away from potentially hitting it from the top. Right? Because this here is just above this cave. I missed it by 1. So, what do we have down here? We have giant tower cap mushrooms, which are like a wood. We have got, if I open up pond grabbers, which is a boy, do they look fun. They look gross. A dead Gorlak. A lot of the walls here are non-economic stone. This obviously... So we have some Gorlak skeleton, cave spider. Right when caverns open up, you kind of want to figure out what's been fighting down there to figure out what the risk is, right? So that's why I have it paused and I'm just sort of like scanning. You know, we've got spider silks, we've got some Gorlaks. There is not like an army ready to go and attack me. And then that was the concern. So this is not a really good, this is not a great insertion point for this cavern. The cavern bottoms out at elevation 25, and it might make sense for us to Well, I suppose it depends on whether we want access to the water or not. So that's another thing. Our hospital, if we were to make a well, let's figure this out. I'm not actually mining here. I'm just visualizing. So it's, if we wanted to make a well, we would probably put the well like over here. It would have to be a little bit farther. So dig a well here. And this is an undisturbed vertical shaft, and it does go to water, more or less. So there's water in this cell here, which could be a vertical shaft all the way down. In this spot. So it'd be possible to do a well. Because we're above the caves. And if we did decide to do that, we would need to secure the water around it so that it wasn't, you know, the rope for the bucket isn't a method of, you know, backdooring into our base. There you go. We got our first cavern. Ooh, obsidian, huh? Wait, I don't... Yeah, we have obsidian down here. So obsidian is, obviously a volcanic glass, but it's treated as like a stone in the game. And it is the most valuable stone outside of, like, for building and the like. And it's also a sharp stone. So it's a cool find, finding obsidian. We don't have a ton of it down here. It's just like a tiny bit of obsidian here, but I suspect that there's a lot more of it. Yeah, there's a little here. Generally, that's the case. Also, so now that we've hit this, I want to do a few things. I want to... maybe get a way to put a stairwell here instead. Because it would be more useful to have a stairwell in this sort of area. And I think I'm gonna put a switch on it. So I'll have a stairwell like that. Actually, I'm just gonna do a 1 wide. I don't need it 3. And then we'll do, like a bridge around it with a lever. So I can shut down that spot. I'll put the lever here. It's kind of an arbitrary spot, but whatever. And that gives us access to, like, sort of this cavern area, and I can dig around to get to this dense fungus floor if I want to, so on and so forth. It makes the area usable. Because most of this cave is wet, but there are some dry spots, and some of the dry spots are directly underneath this part of the mine shaft too. But I only want one point in and out, so I can control access more easily. Which is to say, getting rid of the access that I've made here might be wise. Oh, they already did it. Okay, and the lever's in. Okay. Constructions, bridge. Out of shale. And then we'll link it together. And then once we have that bridge, I'll be able to close off cavern access. And we're going to be less likely to be, like, overrun from below. Or, yeah. Less likely is the gentle way of putting it. Alright, you got stranded, didn't you, Kilgore? Yes, you did. You're on the wrong side of them stairs. Okay. Constructions, stair. pulled you out of there? Before you just, like, die. Ha! You're very satisfied that that's what you did, though. Got it. Actually, I realized I could just do it like this, and then block access to that. Nope, this. Don't bother. Once we breach through, there we go. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna wall brick this up with what I don't care, with shale. And then I'm going to brick this up once it's done. Just so that we have a one-point access, which will be this bridge stairwell to the cave. The current priority right now is make the cavern safe. I'll put safe in quotes, air quotes, because, like, it's never really safe. That is a lot of stuff. House cut gems. 24. Alright, so we're one shy of the work order that I set. I might change that number a little bit. Oh yeah, we can't even physically get there, can we? Well, it is mid-spring now. Checking up on our food and drink. Drinks look fine, as it always does, and prepared food hasn't moved much, but it's gone up. And given that they've been consuming food this whole time, we're a net positive, just not by much. I did queue up making bars out of copper, and we have copper bars and silver bars. So what's going to end up here is we're going to have a lot more copper than silver bars, because I queued up, I think, 20 silver bars or 10 silver bars, and we're just going to keep trying to smelt that tetrahydrite until we get the amount of silver that I had asked for, which is going to be way more copper, because when you smelt it down, you don't decide what it is. You don't pick. The game just goes, oh, yeah, you got, you know, copper out of this one and silver out of this one. So most of it's going to be copper, which is fine. We'll just have a bit of extra copper. All right, link done. And then once that's linked up, we can gain access to this cavern down below. We could also fish down here too. A bit more risky fish, but yeah, we could fish down here as well. And this isn't massive either. I don't think there's going to be a high likelihood of like a forgotten beast showing up, but it could happen. Them's the risk. I just realized I hadn't set it up to say no Cowlinite. Oh, no, it is. Okay. Hey! A lot of immigrants! I'm going to need to pivot or add one more thing here, which is and build new bedrooms. So we have had 5 so far. So we have another farmer. Taking a look at him. Farm 10, butcher 10, beekeep, competent teacher, good musician. $61 with 2 children and a spouse. Zasset. Did Zasset come too? No. Okay. And I'm scanning them for obvious signs that I should be suspicious of. So just, you know, making sure that they aren't suspect. So far, they look fine. Animal caretaker. 25 years old. Man, a lot of youngins in this immigration wave. You figured out how to fix archery? Yeah, just type it out and I'll get to it when I get to it. I appreciate you looking in for me. Virtually unskilled. Can, like, kind of butcher. So that's 3 so far. And the last 2 are peasants. Peasants generally mean they're not skilled at anything. Oh my god. Well, you can dance. But, sometimes they have hidden skills. You can speak, and you're a poet and a wordsmith. Cool. So far it looks like, 5 new immigrants. So it's F5 for the bedrooms. So let's start assigning. I think. Did they self? Oh no, here was 1. Oh, and they're a pair. Cyril and Catton are a couple. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback, as I mentioned that in the intro and description. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow dwarves.